In this video, we're going to learn how to create a crossword puzzle using Microsoft Excel. To get started, the first thing we want to do is format so that our cells look like squares. So I've highlighted all of the cells, and just click up here or do Control A, and that'll highlight all of your cells. And when you do that, you can put your cursor anywhere between the columns. So like, for example, I'm here between E and F, and you see those two little arrows side to side that are pointing. So you can drag to the right, they're bigger. You can drag to the left, it makes your cell width smaller. So this is probably a good cell width right here that we've chosen. And then we can do the same by going to the left-hand side where the numbered rows are. And same thing, you can put your cursor in any of them and the little arrows show up again where now they're pointing up and down. And we can drag down to make, let me highlight all again. We can drag down to make them bigger. We can drag up to make them smaller. But we want to have something that kind of resembles a square. So that looks more square-like. So now that we've done that, the next thing we want to do is to create our shaded area for the crossword puzzle. So I'm just scrolling over. I am highlighting to where margin line is, that dotted margin, and then I'm going to scroll down to the bottom where the bottom margin is, or that dotted line is. But then I'm going to scroll up and leave some space at the bottom. And for that's where we're going to write our clues later. So we have this area chosen and everything is highlighted. We want to go back to the Home tab. And here, first thing I want to do is I want to create my borders. So I'm going to do just all borders. And then I'm going to go to the fill, the little paint can. That's your fill color. And in this case, I'm going to choose black just because that's the color of our borders. And that way we won't really see them. So the next thing I want to do is scroll right one more time to that big A, and that's your font color. So I want to choose white for this. This way I can see what it is that I'm typing. So in this particular crossword, we're just going to have a random theme, and I'm going to use a vacation theme. To create the word, so we have here vacation. Think of a word within your theme that's fairly long, but will still fit in your crossword. Once you have that word, you want to type it anywhere in the middle area of your crossword. So in this case, I'm going to just, right here, column F, it's kind of in the middle from left to right. And I'm going to choose the word vacation because that's pretty long. So I'm going to type one letter in each cell. I'm using all caps, but you don't have to. Obviously, you can do them lowercase. Just all caps is sometimes easier to read. So now that we have vacation and it's in the middle, this gives us space around the word to be able to create words to the side. So let's say I want to come down here and create suntan. So if you're going to a beach, this is a great theme to do. So we have suntan, and let's say up here we want to do coast. And you can keep going with words as you have those. But just to illustrate for you how this can be done, we'll stop there. So the next thing we want to do is now we want to unhighlight where our words are. So now we highlight each word. We go back to our fill color, and this time we're going to choose no fill. You can choose white. The reason I like the no fill is, let's say you do print this out and you're printing on beige colored paper. You're not going to end up with white boxes on beige colored paper. So, do as you wish, but I'm going to choose the no fill for that reason. You see that our letters disappear, but we're going to bring them back in just a minute. I'm just going to highlight these and get rid of the fill in those so they're no longer black filled. So now that we've done that, we're going to highlight everything again. It's just easier that way. Choose your color. I'm going to choose black for the letters, but you can choose obviously whatever color you want for your theme. So when we do that, all of our letters come back. So something else we want to do, and this will be important if you want to send this out electronically, we're going to highlight the area again where our words are, the crossword puzzle area, and we're going to come up here to alignment. Let's scroll back up. You can see what I'm doing. And this lets you align vertically, so now it's centered up and down, or align horizontally, that it's centered left to right. And when we do that, it moves each letter right to the middle of each cell. So the next thing we want to do is we want to create numbers, right? Because when we put in the clues, we'll want to number these. So this can be 1, vacation will be clue number 1, coast will be 2, and this will be your third answer. So we just have those 3 for this example. So we're going to go over from the Home tab and go to the Insert tab. We click on that, and then we come over to Text, and we want to insert a text box. So we'll just draw one just out here anywhere to the side. We'll draw a little one. In that text box, we'll just type in number 1. Drag this text box over, and we place it here. And so that looks a little weird, right? Because it's overlapping on the black background. So then we just format the text box, right-click, and we want to bring our fill to no fill. And we want to get rid of the outline, so we don't want an outline. And now we just have this one that's floating here. So you just place it wherever you want, ideally in the top left of each, first letter of each answer. So do that for the rest of them. So all I did here was just highlight it and Control-C to copy. And then I'm going to paste. And then I'm going to change that to 2. And I'm going to paste that. And then my other version will do a 3. And then we simply just drag it over. So coast will be 2. And this will be 3. And then down here, you just come to the very bottom of it and you can type in what you want your clues to be. So 1 can be with vacation. So this can be activity where we all relax and have fun. And then 2, so what was number 2? Was coast. And say borders the ocean. And 3, what happens when you lay in the sun? And you can keep doing that with however many words you have. And then ideally, you'll want to make a copy of this. So you can come down here to the tab, right click, move or copy, create copy. And this will be your original. And then you go back to, we'll call this game. And then you simply go back on your board, highlight everything, and delete. Now you have a blank game that you can share with other people, or you have your, and you have your original so you don't forget what the answers are if you need to go back to them.